Welcome, everyone, back to a more traditional Series B. So this one, I think, is going to be something we've never, ever done before on the channel. It's certainly going to be something very, very unique, let's put it that way, both in terms of where we're playing and in terms of the mods, and in terms of the playstyle we've got going on here. So, for the first time in a very, very long time, we're not actually playing with a total conversion mod. No CK2+, no HIP, no anything like that, really. I have a massive mod pack instead consisting of many little smaller additions to the game, which will give it kind of a unique feel. Now, this time around, and it's been pointed out to me before, and I sort of thought about this myself, but we very frequently end up playing more or less the same character every playthrough, or building up so we've got more or less the same character every playthrough. Someone with a good martial education, 30+ martial, 200+ personal combat, genius, strong, diligent, patient, ambitious, whatever else. They always tend to be carbon copies, and of course immortal. How could I forget immortal? So this time around, I've done a little mod brewing of my own, and added a lot of limitations to things that wouldn't normally affect us, so that hopefully we won't end up with just another carbon copy character, so that every character we play as will feel unique and will have their own story and will have their own specialist areas. Education is going to be a very, very important thing in this playthrough, and we're also going to go for somewhere in the world we've never really ever looked at before. So I'm going to play in the Viking Age here for obvious reasons that I'll explain in a second. First thing, though, I will talk about some of the mods we've got included. Now, I will say I've made a workshop collection for this. I will stick it in the description if you want to go and look through, or even play with it yourself. I'd highly recommend it. It's a way of getting the most out of base game CK2 without needing one of those total conversion mods. So, two of the big mods that I've actually never personally played with before that just seem a no-brainer here are the better AI mods. So, we've got the better AI role-playing character focus, which makes AI choose decisions and their focus based on who they are as a character. So this is going to be very much a character building playthrough for both us and the AI. If, say, an arbitrary character might pick, business and greedy decisions as a result of that, or a character who is lustful would be more likely to pick the seduction focus. Whereas in the base game, the AI just picks almost arbitrarily, to be honest with you, depending on whether or not they're stressed or depressed or garbage like that. Their personality is what is going to drive a character in this playthrough. We've also got things like education focus. We've got things like rich childhood, which I have set up to affect the AI as well. Like I said, I've also brewed my own stuff as well to put restrictions on us, so that what we can choose and what our characters can do are determined by who they are as people. This, I'm hoping, will be a very, very nice and different playthrough, and we won't end up with just carbon copy characters again. Along with that, I've added a whole bunch of new artifact mods, or artifact mods that we've seen before, but mods that add just a whole bunch of new artifacts. I've added a lot of the Caesars mods, which, in my opinion, are some of the best CK2 mods going right now. More buildable wonders. We've got, additional wonders as well. We've got books, we've got artifacts, we've got mounts, we've got the chivalric societies coming back, we've got Trade League, we've got graphics, everything. And, of course, the Ligma mod, my own little one there, is making its way into a mainstream series once, because honestly, why the hell not? Now, I am zooming in on India here for a reason. We're actually going to play as, and another thing I'm trying to do recently as well is trying to tick off those government types we've never actually played. So recently, we built away with Chinese Imperial. Now I want to try playing a government type that's often overlooked, and that, this time around, is going to be Monastic Feudal. So Monastic Feudal is a really, really interesting government type that's kind of halfway between Theocracy and halfway between Feudal. Funnily enough, the clue's in the title, really. You get access to kind of unique buildings, some unique tech aspects to it as well. Levy size, you get, of course, piety bonuses. Now, I'm going to play up here. We're also going to try playing as a Buddhist to limit what we can do in terms of aggressive expansion. How many series have we had where we've, like I said, just built a character with 30 martial and steamrolled absolutely everyone with, like, crazy leadership traits or whatever? By playing as one of these more peaceful religions, like Buddhist, for example, Bon as well as another one, or Burn, I guess it would be pronounced, in the area, you can see most of the Tibetan plateau is, Tibetan basin there, is this Burn religion. We're going to be playing as Buddhist, that way we can flip between religious branches and see a huge amount of the different area. And the goal of this series really is to become the Samrat Chakravartin, which is the, basically, unite all of India, get the whole subcontinent. Now, there is an achievement for that. I've already done it. Otherwise, I would probably do this as an achievement series instead, but I figured as I've already done it, let's do it again, but this time let's go balls to the wall with it. Let's do everything we can do, chuck in everything we can, and try and make a really unique playthrough. So, building our character here with the ruler design is actually going to be super relevant, because that will determine what exactly we can do, and what exactly we're going to be doing with each character. So, a business character, or a character who's been educated in stewardship, might be focused on building up the realm, investing a lot of money, making trade routes, and big plays like that. Character with a wall focus might be the one that allows us to expand the borders somewhat, pushing other people's claims, etc. etc. So some things don't have restrictions, and certain things will, but I'll explain those obviously as we get into game here. So I'm actually going to play as this particular character that I have clicked on. He is one of the only monastic feudal Buddhists going, which is, again, I want that government type, but I don't want to play the burn religion, I think is how you say that, just simply because it is so restrictive. What it essentially is a I want to say a diminished version of Buddhist, which I think is to put it somewhat offensively, but it is just Buddhist with way less features. You can't flip your branches. It's not as fleshed out because obviously it came out, you know, a couple of patches ago, whereas Buddhist is and all the other sort of, all of the other Indian-related religions, Hindu, Jain, whatever, have also had a lot more time in the oven compared to this religion up here. So this way, we've got a lot more freedom, but we also get access to monastic feudal. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's play some game. So, with this guy, we do have access to that government type. Now, picking a character, his education is going to play massively into it, and this is going to be... I'm going to take things a lot slower this time. Well, not a lot slower, but slow enough that we can actually enjoy each character and actually build them up a story unique to them, rather than them just be being, you know, this guy took some land and died, and then we sped through to the next character who also took some land and died, like after the end. I think I need a break from that. So, ethnicity doesn't really matter. I'm going to random a guy. And you know what? We're gonna let the game roll the dice on us a little bit. I'm not gonna design a character this time as I would normally do. We're just gonna let the game, you know, give us something here. Boom. There he is. Oh, a man after my own heart with a haircut like that. Look at that. Stick a ball over his head and cut around it. And the mustache of what is either a mime or an evil villain. That's perfect. That's who I am in my heart. And that's who our character's gonna be, goddammit. Okay, as for his name and as for his dynasty, I am gonna go for something easy to pronounce for my very simple backwards English tongue. This name, which I'm going to assume is Namde Kun, I don't want to try and say that because I feel like I'm going to offend somebody, but also it would be a lot easier if his name was just John Stephen. Is this whitewashing? Take it up to Tumblr. I don't give a fuck. What are we going to call him? Probably something like, hang on, where are we? We're Buddhist. We're in Tibet. Burn religion is around. It's obvious, isn't it? We're going to call him Joris. Oh, I don't have the umlaut on my keyboard, but you kind of get what I'm getting at here. Joris Burnson. That's who we're going to play as. Joris Burnson is actually up there with, like... He's actually up there with some of our other incredible character names, like Top Bog Spoff. Joris Burnson, holy shit, that's incredible. Culture is Budpa, I'm assuming is how you say that. I've actually no idea. And then, of course, we are playing as Buddhist as well. Now, the education, like I said, is going to be a massive, massive portion of this playthrough. Elusive Shadow, for example, where that will have access to scheming and seduction, whereas a mastermind theologian would certainly not be interested in seduction or carousing, for example. So this is going to be fairly big. Now, I'm very tempted to off the get-go here, play as Midas Touch, get those fertility bonus, give us access to the business focus. It will give us access to building up the realm somewhat. We're going to be playing fairly small to start off with, so playing it tall is probably our best bet. 15 age, but will allow us to build the dynasty up. Now, if we're playing with someone with a high fertility, I think going for something like Genius, like Strong, I mean, any inheritable trait, really, it definitely would be a fairly good shout. I am going to min-max this somewhat, because this is going to be a fairly hard playthrough. With the AI much more focused, we're still playing on hard as well. The AI is going to be more focused, more efficient. We're probably going to see a lot more powerful AI characters that aren't just, you know, completely educated in garbage with garbage stats and random traits, or seemingly random traits. We're actually going to have characters that are worth the damn, so I've got to be somewhat careful about that too. So, let's think about this. If we're something like cynical, for example, we're also allowed to scheme, because cynicism, by definition, is mistrusting other people's intentions, roughly. So, that might not be a bad idea. Man, it's also -5, isn't it? It's actually very good. It's going to hit our piety a little bit, but playing as monastic feudal, we actually get access to buildings that obviously give us a bit more piety. You know, I'm gonna take that off the bat here. Pick various different Buddhist branches. So, I think we'll wait until we get in-game to do that, but we can sort of see what we've got. Vassal opinion +5. So the way it's been described to me is, I think it was, Hindu is good for expanding your borders, Buddhist is good for holding the realm, and then Jain is good for developing your character. And then ideally, if you want to min-max it, you can flip between those and build your character appropriately. So for a character who is trained in martial, who's a bit of a powerhouse, you know, high martial, high personal combat, you might want to join a warrior's lodge and then flip to Hindu or something along those lines. You can only do it once per lifetime, so it's a pretty big thing to do there. I honestly don't know. Let me take a look at some of the traits and some of the stuff. Obviously, we're playing with the community traits mod there of our own brewing, so I'll take a quick look. I'll come up with a character and I'll talk you through some of my decisions as we get into it. This might be a mistake. This is kind of ridiculous, but I love it. So, we've got a character here who has fairly mediocre stats, again, so we can build him up, so we can build up his story here. Now, I've gone for a character who is a very a very down-to-earth man and knows his pleasures. A bit of a hedonist, maybe, but not quite that far, you know? He's stressed and wounded. Now, I picked those specifically because it's a bit of metagaming there. Not really character building, but that allows us to pick things like powerful. Powerful, of course, upgrade of strong there. Super, super strong, by the way. Martial plus 30, diplomacy plus 2, 30. It's like 35 age. So this is where the majority of the stressed and depressed and cynical, we had to take, sorry, stressed and wounded and cynical, all of those was just about enough to pay for powerful. Novice Fighter is free. It's your baseline fighting trait that you can upgrade. Chances are we never will upgrade it, being a character educated to count coins, so that's probably going to be fairly irrelevant. Now, as he is a character who sits around counting coin, he is also frail. Does it make sense that he can be frail and powerful? Maybe naturally he has a very powerful physique, but because he just sits in a chair all day, counting coin and playing video games, a lot of his powerful muscular structure has deteriorated. He's atrophied away. He has the potential to be a big, strong boy, but he would just rather sit around, you know, counting coin and loving ladies, which, by the way, is something he's incredibly good at. I suppose the higher fertility doesn't necessarily make you good at it, but he does have 155% fertility. He's lustful, he's prolific, he's powerful. If we got rid of stress too, we'd be up to 165%. This man is a love machine, which is why I've also gone for attractive and powerful, because in theory, hey, we have enough kids here. This stuff's definitely getting inherited. Even though powerful has like I think it's like a 10% chance to inherit. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's very, very low, understandably. So hopefully we can just have a shit ton of kids, and then the chance passing it on is pretty high. Our first character, Joris Bonson. Not related to anything or anyone. Definitely not based on. Complete intellectual property, roll 1d2 game. So let me talk about some of the rules here. I don't think I've really edited much besides the base game stuff. I've turned like epidemics down to fewer, because if we're playing these more important characters, the last thing we want is just be, hey, congratulations, you randomly got the plague. You're now fucking dead. Because I think that's an awful way to end any character's campaign. Same issue we sort of had last series where, hey, you lost a duel. You're dead. That's very boring. So this time around, I've dropped minor epidemics down. I've left regular epidemics on. And then I've also dropped non-epidemic diseases down, so you can't just randomly get a cancer and die or anything like that. I've dropped that right down. So the only other things I've really affected here are supernatural events set to unrestricted, absurd events set to unrestricted. Hey, if it happens, it happens. That's out of our control. The game's rolled a dice for us there. If we become immortal again, I swear to God. I swear to you. And then because we're playing a monastic feudal, I figured vassal theocracies might as well go unrestricted, might play into the playthrough somewhat. I don't think it'll, I mean, ideally, you don't want theocracies in charge of too much stuff, because they're just kind of bad. Don't really provide troops or much tax. So that's probably going to be irrelevant, but I just thought it'd be a nice little flavor thing we could do for things there as well. Everything else is more or less set to the default. So AI, you know, seduction is on, intrigue is on, way of life dueling is still restricted quite heavily there. All of your base game sort of rules, crusades, whatever on, we could probably turn those off. It's not going to make any difference to us down here. Then we've got some of the additional mod rules, which I've kept to more or less the same stuff as well there. Then finally, we've got targets of rich childhood events. I've actually set that up for everybody. So all characters, not just the player, the AI, and, you know, I guess all the fucking randomers out there, can educate their kids to a higher standard. That plus the other mod too. I'm hoping we're going to get some very powerful rivals and other characters of note this playthrough, rather than it just being, you know, generic-faced AI number 7. Now that I think about it, I completely forgot to change our coat of arms, didn't I? So we'll have to do that when we get into game. Something thematic, something understandable. Don't worry about all this stuff. I'll explain it as we go on there. It's just basically explanations, whatever else. So we can hold castle, temple, fort, and hospital holdings without penalties. We can hold tribal holdings without penalties. Blah, 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 blah. You know how it go. It's CK2 after all. Here we are. Wow. So somewhere in the world we've never, ever played before. It's not. I definitely brushed over it a little bit. It's not as easy as I made it out to be, becoming the Samurai Chakravartin. It's quite a difficult playthrough. I've done it. I tried to do it a couple of times, actually, in Iron Man mode, but generally with Iron Man mode in CK2, I think I actually did it once, and I didn't get the achievement for it, and I was so livid I went back and did the whole campaign again. Now, the first time I played through was when Monks and Mystics first came out, and the Devil Worshipper Society was horribly OP, and basically the way I did it at that point was possessing characters, inviting them to court, pushing their claims, vassalizing them while they were possessed, basically, because they can't say no. That way I was able to get a lot of land, literally vassalizing entire kingdoms, because the AI had a complete inability to say no before they nerfed it. Obviously, that's not going to work this time around. So here we are. We are Bonson Joris of Sakya, the Buddhist and monastic feudal character. Now, I'll show you very quickly what I was talking about. Because we are Midas Touched, we can take the business focus. However, if a character wasn't greedy, charitable, Midas Touch, fortune builder, thrifty clerk, or indulgent wastrel, they wouldn't be able to take it. Similarly, right now, we can't take, to my knowledge, oh, we're cynical, so we can take that one. We can't take things like, right, we're craven. we can't take the war or hunting focus because we're craven. We're scared. We don't want to be injured. We don't want to go out there in a world of harm. So those are now cut off to us. They're limited. I believe some other things. What else? Oh, we actually have access to a lot of stuff. So we've got a fairly okay character here. So I'll go through the sort of various stuff that might limit us here. So business focus, for example, you need to have one of those. Rulership focus. Characters can't be cruel, lunatic, or possessed because they would have no reason to want to try and govern well. There's absolutely nothing in their personality that would determine them taking this focus to try and govern well, besides it just being an abusable way of getting, like, you know, just things like that. So in theory, we're going to get much less powerful characters this time around as well. Intrigue, again, you have to be deceitful, paranoid, cynical, whatever else. You have to have a reason to want to go out and spy on people. A random, you know, kind, content, charitable man wouldn't go out there spying on people, but in the base game, he actually would. Seduction, again, you can't be any sort of priest, you can't be a eunuch, you can't be ascetic, celibate, incapable. Some of those are base game, but, you know, all of the various religious education shouldn't be allowed to be seduction, and similarly, we've also got carousing there, same thing. You can't do that if you are any sort of religious education. Family is always free to pick, same with theology, because it's a game based on dynasty building and religion, so that makes a lot of sense. I believe seduction I didn't put too many limitations on, yeah, besides just the whole priestly thing, and actually having a dicker and balls, then you can go nuts with seduction, so that's something we could also pick later on, depending on how we feel at the time. Our guy's also lustful, so that would make sense. I didn't want to put too many restrictions on it. You know, you don't want to limit seduction to just characters who are lustful or hedonist. Otherwise, the only way you can get seduction is by finishing the carousing focus. Well, then if you're not, you know, say hedonist or drunkard, how do you pick the carousing focus if we put that many limitations on it? So I've tried to keep it a bit open-ended. So I'm explaining a lot of the scenario because it's fairly complex this time around. There's a lot going on here. So Bonson Joris. What do we want to start off with then? My god, so we are Buddhist, which means we're limited in actually what claims we can press. We can't just do, you know, single county conquest, can't do invasions, can't do holy wars as far as I know either. Yeah, look at this, holy shit. So we've only got border disputes. If we do that, that's an unjust war anyway, so that would give us -15 opinion with everybody. We can extort tribute and establish tributary states, or we can fabricate claims, of course. That's still an option. Whether or not we want to do that is another thing, and of course fabricating claims is not an ideal way to be building an empire here, so we're going to have to invite people to court, we're going to have to marry for claims, which is something I never do in CK2, we're going to have to push other people's claims, we're going to have to invite other people to court, press their claims, vassalize, and whatever we want to do here. There's going to be a lot of workarounds, and I think it's going to be a much more interesting series as a result. You know, it's not just map painting. I love his mustache as well. A fine choice there, my friend. So let's get to see who our immediate neighbors are. So then we've got the King of Nepal right there. Manadeva IV of Nepal. We might want to even start, you know, swaying, antagonizing, start bringing people against us to some extent. You know, us being able to declare war on him maybe for rivalry or something like that could be beneficial in the long run if you want to push someone else's claim. I've got to think of the long term now, which is something I hate doing. If you've ever watched any of my content, that's not why we're here. All right, so oh man, so we get minor holy war. What is that then? Caesar County. Okay, so we can holy war to some extent. Oh, is this guy our religion? Right, it's Nepal. It's probably, yeah, no, that makes sense in hindsight. So we can holy war. Nearby okay, so we don't want a holy war because all the other rulers in Tibet would join him against us, which would be a terrible idea. There's also minor holy wars, which is interesting. I've never actually seen this before. So that allows us to declare a... Oh, it's a holy war, but for a county, but he can't call in other rulers. Interesting. So it's like a county conquest, but from a religious grounds. Okay, interesting. Then we've got a ducal conquest, which are very, very limited in how frequently you can do that. We can't even do it right now anyway. And then, of course, we've got border disputes, which are horrendous. So really, the only casus belli we've got access to right now is the minor holy war. Right, okay. Bear that in mind, because that could be kind of relevant. Societies, what can we join to kick off with here? So we've got quite a few. We've got the Amazons, which is irrelevant. Warriors Guild, Wheel of Life and Death. Great Trade League, we've got the Sentinels of Light, and the Savaka Sangha, am I saying that right? It's a Buddhist monastery. Okay, interesting. To attend Nirvana through a simple and meditative life, forswearing all physical property. That doesn't seem right, seeing as we are only interested in physical property right now. So as this character, the things we want to be doing are taking the business focus, because we have one of the few traits that will actually allow us to get access there, start building up our treasury for future characters. Probably a good idea for this guy to start, again, playing tall with. Can we not... Oh, man. So without CK2+, we can't pick things like get married or have a son. We can try and get rid of fear. Oh, this is cool. Oh, right, because we're Buddhist. Yeah, of course. So we can try and get over some of our negative traits there, which could work very, very well for the set, but I didn't even consider the implications of that. So if we have a trait that keeps us from, you know, taking rulership with our religion, with our actual character, he can try and build himself up to be a better guy. That's kind of nice. It'd be cool if we had one of those for, like, every single trait, huh? Alright then, so to start off with, let's go with Groom and Air. Let's take that 20% fertility, not that we need it, but hey. And let's see if we can find ourselves a half-decent wife. So there are no limitations on, you know, family focus or marriage or anything like that either. Mainly because I think everybody wants to marry whoever's best. And for us, we're still looking for... There's no limitations to the eugenic aspects of things. So we're looking for anybody who is prodigy. We're looking for anybody strong. Oh, man, really? Holy fuck. Oh, it's joint court, yes. Ugh, get out of there. Right, I'm going to set diplomat range to be yes. We should probably start setting up... Yeah, I'm going to filters. Okay. Women, married preferably no. Diplomat range preferably yes. Okay, that's cool. So there is one strong woman kicking around. She is Hindu. Okay. So let's take a look for, I don't know, prodigy. There's no prodigy characters in the world. Wow, okay. What about powerful? No powerful characters either that we could potentially marry. Interesting. Okay, they are obviously very, very, very rare and very powerful traits. What about just strong? Oh, we've already checked strong. Shit. What about genius, then? I mean, no, there's no genius characters either. Okay, I think, well, you know, we'll go for that strong woman. Now, I don't know. We allow more than one wife, or... Okay, we take 3 concubines. Okay, cool. We can only declare limited holy wars against non-dharmic religions. Oh, man, that's super restrictive. So, if we want to become the Samrat Chakravartin and reunite India, that's going to be incredibly difficult to do as a Buddhist. Like, super difficult to do. Limited holy wars against non-dharmic religions. So we could try and unite Tibet first and then head downwards. That would, though, and you've got to remember, this is also something we've never done in CK2, that would paint a massive target on our head for China. There's no reason they couldn't say, hey, you're now our tributary, or, hey, we're just going to straight up invade you. China have that ability. Like I said, I haven't changed the rules on the base game, so they are free to do whatever the hell they want, really. Let's get you to court. We've heard rumors of your beauty and your ability to count coin, though not as good as ours. I could have just taken her as a concubine rather than pay her off, but you know what? Let's get her to court. Let's get her to court and just take her on as a wife immediately. Right, how's the game running? Very fast. Okay, speed 5? Maybe not. Let's turn that down a little bit. Welcome, Anna Ladevi. Let's arrange... Oh, we can demand religious conversion. Sure, let's do that straight off the bat then. Boom. Convert over to me. Oh, that's... there we go. Thank you. Right, good work. Let's get married to you immediately then. To Joris Bonson. Holy shit, that's going to get me every time. And we'll take the prestige again. I guess we're just going ahead and take some random prestige. Are we losing prestige for having less concubines? No, we're really not. We are losing karma for being cynical and lustful, though that's kind of expected. It's just piety at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah, so we're not actually losing prestige for having less than the amount of concubines we should have. So really, we should probably hold out and wait for good ones to turn up. Can we take her as a concubine? Yes, nice work. Hey, what about her? These guys, they have won me over. They're incredible. What about, say, a fair wife? Oh, sorry, attractive. What about an attractive wife? Yeah, she'll do. Absolutely. Can we take her as a concubine? Boom, there we go. Okay, so we've already got ourselves a really great lineup in terms of wives here. The beautiful Anna Ladevi, who I'm going to nickname wife number 1. And then we've also got wife number 2 and Tekken. Tekken, I can say. That's the one with the big old panda, isn't it? Right, come on. Where's the... Excuse me. I was promised another wife. Have you betrayed me? Where did she go? Did I miscount the amount of wives I had? Hang on, strong? Was it you? Take concubine? No! Wait, no, that definitely wasn't her then. What about you? You want to be my concubine? No, she's not up for it, weirdly enough. Okay, was there anyone else attractive? There's her, Ankak. Was it her? Yeah, it was her I asked, right? Okay, come on. Send her. Send her to me. Bring her. There we go. Okay, I've decided to accept your suggestion. Cool. First thing we want to do then, probably churn out a shit ton of kids and try and get the business focus to fire. Get some gold in the bank, start building ourselves up. Now, Monastic Feudal has a unique building. What is it, Gompa Monastery or something like that? Blah, 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 blah. Can also construct Gompa Monastery. I know that because I've played Age of Empires 3, unfortunately. Right, what have we got? Have we already got one? Oh, shit, we've already got one here. Gompa Monastery. So these are actually very, very good. You can see that there's 4 levels of it, and each level gives a pretty decent amount of bonuses here. Karma, garrison size, levy size, cultural tech points. It's sort of that, it sort of bridges the gap between your regular feudal and your temple buildings. It gives that piety and that those cultural points as well. Now, I'm interested in what we can get out of holding a temple. I don't think we've ever done a playthrough where we can hold a temple before, so a maxed out temple, is it better than holding a castle? Is going to be the real question here. We might. Bear in mind we've got limited... Oh, God, that looks horrendous. Given that we've got limited tech points, could we potentially buff up... Oh, sorry. Given that we've got limited Casus Belli, and obviously our martial is going to be a lot lower, and we're not going to be so militaristic, could we maybe buff up tech points as massive as possible and then invest them into having superior units? So, you know, we might only have half the army size, but if we're so many levels of tech above them, in theory, we should still be able to swamp them, right? Well, let's test out different strategies here. This is going to be, it's going to be a bit of a weird start. Oh. No, my wife. But in the act of reading the Hindu scripture and giving praise to her, did she secretly hold her old religion back? She's definitely a Buddhist. She's definitely... No, I think he's wrong. We lose 10 karma, though, for not burning my wife, but she is strong, and also she's my wife. Overruled. Sendro, you're losing your goddamn mind, my man. He's cynical. You know, we can't trust this guy. He's probably just losing his... I'm not burning my wife. Please don't ask me to do that again. Who can we... Oh, what? Oh, we can put her in prison because she's an apostate. Oh, can we not, like, Can we not... We could place a bounty on her. That doesn't seem right. We can't pardon her or anything like that because, of course, she's not a vassal that's broken a crime or anything. Oh, right. So we should probably set up minor titles and things like that, too. Designate a regent. Welcome, my good friend... Namka, Mayor of Gedding. I have no idea. Court physician, welcome aboard, my good friend Sendro, who I just pissed off. Hey, saved my life. I know that we've got off to a rocky start here. Trade master. Now, this is important. We do have the Great Trade League mod, so what that means is we need a guy, super high marshal, to be able to count coin for us. One of the big reasons I set this up is because if we're playing a martial character who can't take the business focus, then having the AI essentially do that for us is going to be fairly beneficial, I think. So let's get him on board. Master of the Hunt, again, just give this... I don't really care about this. We need a button that's like, give away all these other crappy titles that I'm really not interested in. Looking for someone patient, diligent, any combination of those to be our core educator. Tekken, teach them to button mash. You will defeat... Hey, Hachi? Was he Lightning Grandad? I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played Tekken. So what have we... Oh, what the hell's a Diwali? So we got Diwali Festival. Search for a guru. Might give you the benefits of his sage advice. Oh, shit. Is he going to teach me to open my 7 chakras so I can achieve the avatar form? Was it 7? I don't remember. Okay, shit. I'm going to mark that special interest. We need 300 prestige. Well, we're off to a swimming start on that one. I'll see you in about 400 years, my friend. And let's also hold a Diwali festival when we can. Oh, shit. Right, the game hasn't hit yet. Damn it. If I'd have left it so that it was paused, this would have been a lot cheaper. But, you know, we've let a month pass now, so it's a bit late. Composer book. 71 gold. Absolutely. We should teach them about managing the realm. Buff up our, actually give a reason to composing a book. You know, our ancestors, our descendants aren't going to be as good at us. You know, if we get a martial guy, he's not going to be able to hold the realm together because, you know, we can't take all those different focuses and whatnot. So let's write and teach him how to manage the realm. We'll pass on our knowledge for the future. Borrow some money from moneylenders. Actually, that might be a terrible plan if we want to focus this guy on building up the realm somewhat. We are playing with Floki's tech mod, but of course we do get a lot of other unique stuff as well, being monastic feudal. I want to build a temple. I think building a temple off the bat here. In fact, we should probably focus on becoming a duke to start off with. Oh, shit. Okay. 1,700 men. 1,400 men. We can... Oh, we can't. He's Buddhist. Oh, we can subjugate other Buddhists, can we now? Yeah, if we have more bloody karma. Okay, maybe not. Can we do anything? Border dispute? I mean, those don't really have... Oh, no, it's Duke of Conquest that don't have penalties. Yeah, we need more karma and more prestige. Oh, God, okay. Feels like everyone is trying to trump me. My huntsman killed more prey than I. My chancellor's found a better solution to the rebellious peasants than mine, and I start to feel that everyone's better than me no matter what. Gain, kind, or envy them all. What does kind do for us right now? Diplomacy +2, vassal opinion +5 is obviously quite nice. Envious, meh. Gives us intrigue, but I'm not too bothered about that one. Especially it gives a liege opinion. Nothing to stop these guys, because we're probably the weakest character on the Tibetan Plateau right now. Nothing to stop these guys turning around and saying, hey, bend the knee, you're subjugated. So I'd rather not lose liege opinion. Let's go for kind. He didn't become kind. Well, that's a real fucking shame, because I'd have really liked to become kind. Okay, well, hey, we're not kind, so we can go and holy war to our heart's content. Not against you, we can't. I was testing you. 1,800 men. Okay, so if our guy can bring in some money with the business focus, keeps them in the bank, we could hire mercenaries, we could potentially develop the realm, or we could just borrow some. Becoming a duke off the bat here would be very, very good. Let's take some money out. If there's a character who's going to be, you know, the best for taking money out, it's going to be our guy here. Do you want to build anything in the capital? Do we even have a temple? No, we don't. Okay. Oh, that's on a trade route, though. Shit, right. Here's your character to... Sorry? Certain counties... Oh, it's not a key Silk Road point. Oh, well, that sucks. So we've got one there in Lhasa, which is a great province. And then we've got this guy up here in Kathmandu. Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Shit, well, we've really got unlucky with that, huh? Oh, there's another one over here in Parang. How many troops have you got? 5,000. Forget I ever asked. Alright then, so let's focus on maybe just expanding our borders somewhat. What sort of holy orders, what troops, what mercenaries can we hire right now? Don't want to blow the whole budget, because that would be kind of overkill, really. So we've got 1,400 or 1,500 troops. He's got about, let's say, about 2,000, roughly. I mean, anything, really. Even a small amount of troops might just be able to make up the levels here. So we highlight the Rajput man, for example. Pretty good. Okay, troop counts. Got some war elephants in there. They're always quite nice. So that's going to cost us 113 gold. Now, what about commanders? Because we cannot lead troops here. That guy's got 20. That's what I like to see. Let's see if we can bring some commanders into the realm then. See if they're willing to join us. Maybe spend a little bit of money on that as well if we have to. Let's go join court, preferably. Join court any. Just ruler, no. Diplo range, yes. Okay, let's see what we've got. So, we could buy a favor. Obviously, invite him to court. It is possible to invite him to a court with that favor. Okay. 80 gold, though. Plus, we'd have to bribe him in advance. Maybe we should sort by, like... Not opinion, that's a terrible idea. Like this guy we could potentially bring on board. And he's got Way of the Dragon. Oh, shit. Buy a favor from you. It's impossible. Is he a counselor? He's a commander. Okay, fair enough. Let me see if I can find anyone I can bring to court as a potential leader for armies. I'm going to have to try and find someone particularly good, though. I found this guy. He is a chancellor, but he's already willing to join our court with a little bit of a bribe as well. He should be turning up any minute now. So he's not the best commander. He's only got 17 martial, but that is much, much better than... Honestly, a lot of the people that would have been super expensive to get to our court. So we've got to find a compromise here. Welcome aboard, my friend. Okay, he's pretty good. He's also a battlefield terrain master. When you're kicking around mountains, whatever else, that seems fairly decent. Narrow flank plus 50%. Cool. All right, so I'm thinking. So we've got 2017. What has this guy got? Let's take a look at. Has he got any troops raised or anything like that to try and tell his commanders? 4. Okay, that's not inspiring confidence. He's got 5 marshal himself. Commander. 4. Oh, God. 4 martial. Okay, I feel like we're going to absolutely swamp him if we want to do it right now. I might even go for it. We could subjugate him. What do we need for that? We need 500 karma. Well, we're not going to be able to do that for a while. What can we do? Oh, my God. We can't even go to war with him right now. We just need piety. We need piety and prestige and, like, a shit ton of it. Okay. Marrying that random lowborn woman was probably a bad idea in hindsight. Can I not do anything in terms of gaining piety? Oh, my God. We could subjugate kingdoms. What? Rulers of the Indian religions can subjugate each other for 500 karma if they're from the same culture group. Brother, I need prestige. Oh, you know what? I'm going to join these guys because they give a temple cost modifier -5. So that's 50% lower, basically. But the fertility is the big loss there, and we've got a mountain of fertility. We might not have to worry about that. Could also join things like the Great Trade League, try and get a bit of prestige out of that. I mean, the Warriors Guilds would also be something we could do, but we'd have to focus on war, and war we can't do because we're a Craven, so obviously we can't join a Warriors Guild because we're scared. Which would give me more prestige, because I can't go to war with anybody unless we get some of that. I'm going to try the Trade League first, because it's been a while since I've done that. See if we can get some prestige out of it. See if we can get some good deals for the realm. It seems suitable for our first character with a Midas Touch and, you know, Moneylender and good good stewardship to be trying to build up the realm and bring some cash here. What can I do for prestige just early on, though? Apprentice Trader. There you go, my friend. Great question. Festivals? We need prestige to hold fucking festivals too? My God. Go to market, ask for loans, start building a warehouse. Don't want any of that stuff. I guess we'll just have to maybe blitz through a little bit and just wait for some prestige to naturally accrue. We are getting 1.44 a month, so in theory it won't take too long. Now, one thing I didn't think about is we have the artifact acquisition mod, so the ability to go and steal artifacts from other characters. As a Midas-touched lustful man, clearly that he is wanting after certain things. Gold and power and women probably at the top of that list. Maybe let's see if we've got anything of our religion that anybody of our religion that has a rare artifact kicking around, because that way we could always. Oh, what is that? Martial +3, lightning +1. Okay, so we've got some secret Chinese techniques, but not really too interested in that one, my friend. What have you got? Sort of same story, really. Diplomacy, learning, vassal opinion +5. These are really, really powerful artifacts. Not really what we're after right now. More Chinese books. Okay, I'm not looking for. What is that? Bond picture. That's cool. We're looking for any sort of Buddhist artifact. So Tooth of Buddha, I believe, is one of them. Speak of the devil, there it is. So monthly prestige 0.10, monthly karma, diplomacy, same religion, opinion, and short reign years. If we could get that for ourselves, that would be a very, very nice bonus for our treasury. I'm going to go for it. Who shall be your accomplice? Oh God, this is risky, isn't it? Where are we going anyway? Oh, he's all the way down in, what's that, Sri Lanka? Holy shit, he is. Okay. Right. I'm going to take my good friend, my marshal or my spy master. Let's take the spy master, the guy with the 20 martial and the 14 intrigue. He seems a bit more resourceful than this random wounded man. All right, let's do it. I believe that we'll start off episode 1, nicking Buddha's tooth. Convince the servants to let me in, force my way inside, or sneaking through the window. Oh God, they're all kind of shitty. 57% chance of success. Oh my God, wow. Okay, I'm going to be honest, wasn't expecting that. You managed to evade most patrols until you come outside the treasury. 2 bolts down, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 42% chance of success. I believe. Buddha, you want me to be the holder and possessor of your tooth, don't you? Evidently. Evidently, we are succeeding. Now that you have dealt with the guards, you're free to search the treasury for your target. Time is short, and the treasury is filled with documents, jewels, and many miscellaneous items. So we've got now a 53% chance of success if we search carefully for the item. It's a coin flip. It's a coin flip right now, whether or not we get Buddha's tooth. Pray. Pray or do whatever it is. Meditate. I don't know what Buddhists do to bring luck. Shit. You didn't pray hard enough, did you? You didn't. It's probably because I don't know what to do. God damn it. Okay. You've taken too long. Some guards have found you. If you're going to execute me episode 1 so I can soft reboot the series. Do it. Bonson Joris is imprisoned by Maharaja Sena of the Lambakanaratara. Or try and fight our way out. 57% chance of being wounded and being imprisoned. 28% chance of being imprisoned. 15% chance of success with that one. Oh, shit. 19% chance of being executed. Oh, God. Well, that's not a good start. My liege, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. You are in prison, you big fuck. Okay, pause it. You suffer the shame. Tell me about it. Episode 1. Imprisoned. Bonson Joris. May he change his ways and become a better man. His greed, knowing no limits, traveling halfway across the continent to steal the booth of Tuda. The booth of Tuda. The tooth of Buddha from this man who now wants to ransom me out for 70 big ones. Shit. Well, that was a journey. Lessons we'll learn. I think we need to go for something. Why can we do scholarship? Oh, because we're cynical, right. Well, I think we need to do something that will give us some prestige. Now, obviously, being craven means that we can't go for these two. Rulership? Rulership? Please our vassals. Learn how to be a better ruler and not such a greedy shit. Bonson Joris, you have a long life and lessons ahead of you. Why have we not had a kid yet? He's 32. The man has 175% fertility. What the fuck? Well, we'll cross that hurdle tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys like this series. Hope you guys like the idea. Take me a while to get used to the style, the editing, you know, what's worth living and what stuff isn't as we go through here, because it's all about the characters this time around. So, we're going to try and build ourselves the world's weirdest, fancy, funkiest dynasty, and it's all thanks to insane top tier level patrons to make YouTube possible still in 2019. Big thank you to Aiden W, Alpha Scuff, Anthony Golli, Asuna Kirito, Matt Moses, Average Gamer 419, Bacon Kitten, Sidini, Crazy Pat, Crosus, Donald, Emerald Beam, Facundo Vasquez, Fluffernutter, Ghost of Protocol, Gogolus, Harik, Jimbo, Jonah Waters, Jocelyn Dean Tesla, Justin Wallace, Gaining Carter, Michael Mullen, Muskratful, Nat Buskus, 911, Nathan Flores, Necrophilin, Pelvis Presley, Rodin, Richard Clark, Scott, Skaz, Somnus, Stannis the Manis, Shayuk, The Forsaken One, T-Bag Cruz, Tom Terry 18, Tyler Kendall, Vacuous Bacchus, and William Green. Thank you for your support, the Insane Tier Lovers on Patreon. Move away from the microphone to breathe in. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you guys for making the series possible. Hope you guys are liking the more divisible and hopefully obvious line between Series A and Series B there. Should be a bit more enjoyable for those of you into more traditional CK2 as well, rather than some of that crazy shit we've been doing recently. And a thank you has to go out as well to Astro, Adam Person, Andrew Walsh, Andrew Wilson, Attila, Austin Taylor, Bordoon, Ben Trope, Esmus Max, Better Valerian, Black Double H, Chris, Corey CA, David Van Diepen, Don, Connie217, Easy to Pronounce Name, Exploding Knees, Fraser Brennan, Gabriel Van Ders, Gaz, Genji Zerko, Gompo, Gray, Haji Demar, Henrik Stensgaard, Icarus, Isid Gray, Irish, J. Lara, Jacob Wolfie, James Barnes, Jason Sushu, Jose, Leon DeVries, Jessica Smith, John Holiday, Jordan Campbell, Joseph Beard, Justin Plott, Justin Walters, Luan and Thomas, Luke Wallace, Mastolp, Monty, Nathaniel Lindbergh, Nick, Noah Gallimore, Pan Samu, Pantherpel, Payback 137, Paint Denisar, Russian Oligarch, Billionaire, Smirtworm, Socrates, Supernan 089, The Bloody Knight, The Insane Pickle, Valonkri, Varagon, Voodoo Mumbo, Wesley Grayson, Will Wade, Wilson Atef, Wolfie, Yorkus, and Zico 2. See you all tomorrow.